Hi everyone, Petrik here. So for today's video, I'll be combining two videos into one video. So I'm talking about November wrap-up and also my December TBR, or also known as the last books that I will read in this year. Well, this is because in the month of November, I read only 2 books. Yes, I know, that's impressive, right? Only 2 books, and they are not even they're technically not even a big book, so it is pretty bad. But well, I had my brother's wedding and also a lot of busy things happening in my life, and December will be the same, so I might as well combine them into one video. So in November, I finished only 2 books, and I'm in the middle of reading the 3rd one right now, which will definitely be carryover to the month of December. But why did I say that December will be more busy? Well, I have an announcement. I'm going to Dragonsteel Nexus. This will be the first time I'm going to the US, to the United States, and I'm going to Dragonsteel Nexus. So if you're going there, well, say hi to me if you meet me. It will be amazing for me to see some of you there because, well, this is Brandon Sanderson, and also kind of like a convention for Brandon Sanderson's fans and also fantasy readers as well. And it will be amazing to meet some of you. But anyway, back to my point. In November, I read only 2 books, and the first one that I finished, it was Brothers of the Wind by Ted Williams, and I love this one very much. I love Brothers of the Wind. I think it is somehow, if you can consider this to be a part of the Last King of Boston art series, I think this somehow became my favorite title in the Last King of Boston art so far. I know that some people mention that you can read this one, Brothers of the Wind, without reading any books in the Austen art saga, not even the Dragonbone Chair. But I kind of disagree. Yes, technically this is a prequel novel to the entire Austen art saga series. It tells the story of Ineluki the Storm King and also his brother, Hakatri, the 2 brothers, hence the Brothers of the Wind. And we know the significance of their stories, of their names, from reading Memory, Sorrow, and Trilogy, and also the first 2 books in the Last King of Boston art. And I think it is important to do that first. If you have done that, I think all the events that happen in Brothers of the Wind will have more impact, and it will actually play a part in, I assume, in the last 2 books of the Last King of Boston art, because this is chronologically, this one is published after the 2nd book in the Last King of Boston art, Empire of Grass, and I bet Ted Williams has a reason to do that, and I need to read into the Narrowdark. But anyway, Brothers of the Wind, it was as good as I expected. The writing is very melancholic, and also the entire story is told from the perspective of a new character. It is not from Hakatri, it is not from Ineluki, but it is told from a new POV character who is the loyal servant of Hakatri. And this character, this is a pure display of loyalty. Seriously, the way Ted Williams writes the power of loyalty, friendship, and also devotion in this dark and also tragic tale, it is honestly impressive. And I really love Ted Williams' writing style. And even though this book is about 200 pages long, it is about 100,000 words long, which is considered very short for Ted Williams' novel. But I think there are just so much impact in this one. And one of the main reasons is because I have read almost every book in the Austen art saga. But I love this one as time goes by, even though I gave it a 4.5 stars rating as I first read through it. But I think with the passing of time, I will hold this one in a more higher regards. I think that will happen because I'm already starting to think of it that way. And I haven't even read the last 2 books in the Last King of Boston art. Once I do, I think I will feel that way. So yeah, I love Brothers of the Wind. I thought the entire story will only be about Ineluki and also Hakatri as they slayed Hidohebi, but that is not the case. There is more to this one, and I think they will play a part in the last 2 books of the Last King of Boston art. I'm looking forward to reading those 2 books as soon as I can. And then the second novel and the last novel that I've managed to finish in the month of November, this month, it is The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, the 3rd and the final book in the Bloodstone saga. And this makes the 10th book by John Gwynne that I read, and I loved everything. I love every book that John Gwynne has ever written. And even though in comparison, as I said in my full review videos, when I'm comparing this to Wrath and also A Time of Courage, this is my least favorite compared to those two. But this is also most likely because Wrath and also A Time of Courage are masterpiece of conclusion, in my opinion. They are some of the masterpiece in concluding epic fantasy series for me. I love Wrath and A Time of Courage very, very much. And this one, I still loved it. It is entertaining, it is great, but I think I expected this to be more epic than what I got. It is still good, it is still great, and I had a great time reading through The Fury of the Gods. I think in comparison to the previous two books, I hope this one as much as The Shadow of the Gods. So, I still loved it. I just did not love this one as much as the Banished Land Saga, but I think considering everything that happened with John Gwynne and his family, I'm still amazed that John Gwynne could finish this one in such a rapid phase at such a great result, and I loved it. I think the character development for Vark in particular was the best in the trilogy. I still love Orca. I still think that Orca is my favorite character in the entire trilogy, but I think her development throughout the trilogy is a bit stagnant. As for Elvar, I'm just not too much of a fan of the character, not gonna lie. I think she's alright, but not up to John Gwynne's usual best characters in my opinion. And John Gwynne has written a lot of amazing characters, including the villains as well. But yeah, I still love The Fury of the Gods, but if I have to choose my book of the month in November, my book of the month, it will have to be Brothers of the Wind by Ted Williams. I'm so excited to be reading Into the Narrowdark soon. And that's not all. I still managed to finish 38 volumes of manga. That's on top of 2 novels, so at least I managed to read a lot of manga volumes. And the first one that I managed to finish, it was the entire volume of Dragon Ball Z by Akira Toriyama. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball. It is a huge part of me growing up, and I still think about it often. And somehow suddenly I just miss the tales contained in the Dragon Ball story, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So I decided to do another reread of the series because it has been like a decade, I think more, since I read Dragon Ball again, and wow, it's still very compelling, and I'm not surprised why this manga is so legendary. I thought it was only because of my nostalgia, but it is not the case. It is still a great story after all. Sure, maybe my bias played a bit of a part here, but you know what? I have to say what I feel, and I was thoroughly compelled by Son Goku or Kakaro's story, Son Gohan, Vegeta, and so many characters in Dragon Ball. I think my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Z, when I'm comparing the Buu arc, Cell, Frieza, or Planet Namek, and also the arrival of the Saiyans. This is not in order, by the way. I'm just mentioning this as they popped up in my brain. I think my favorite is still the triple threats of Frieza, Cell, and also Buu. I think those three are really, really some of the best arc in manga, in my opinion. And yeah, I love my reread of this manga series. As for the other manga series I'm reading right now, this is a new manga. I mean, I haven't read this series before. This is called Rikudou, and this is a boxing manga. So I love Hajime no Ippo, or Fight no Ippo by George Morikawa. I think that manga is so amazing. It has been what volume is it? I think it's 140 volumes now. It's really up there with One Piece, and I read everything in Hajime no Ippo. And right now, I'm not sure when I will do a second read of Hajime no Ippo from the beginning because it's more than 100 volumes. But I miss reading some boxing manga, so I decided to try this one. And so far, 12 volumes in, I think this is quite a great manga. The illustration just keeps getting better and better, but it is very dark. I mean, it's so much darker and violent compared to Hajime no Ippo in terms of things that happen in real life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the continuation of this one. But that's all the books and also the manga that I read in November this month. As I mentioned, I'm still in the middle of reading the third book right now, so I will just talk about all the books that I will read in the month of December. The last books I will read before the end of the year, before we reach 2025. So the first one, it is a reread again of Magician by Raymond E. Feist. As I mentioned, I love the Reform Empire trilogy very much, and after I finished reading Magician by Raymond E. Feist, I think that's 3 or 4 years ago, I decided to just jump into Rift War Empire immediately because I liked Magician. I like Magician, but back then I did not feel the urge to continue to reading the remaining two books in the trilogy, in the first trilogy of the Rift War cycle. But after reading through and loving the heck out of Rift War Empire trilogy that Raymond E. Feist wrote together with Johnny Wirtz, I decided to do a reread of Magician, and this time continue throughout the entire trilogy, and hopefully this will also enhance my reading experience of Rift War Empire. And so far, I think I'm enjoying this reread more than I expected. It's actually quite good now, maybe because I had more context regarding the world and the names now, and also had experience with reading Rift War Empire trilogy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one in the month of December. Now, after that, then I might be reading into the Narrowdark by Ted Williams. As I said, this is the third book in the Last King of Boston art series, and it is, I think, the first part of the concluding volume. So again, once again, this is Ted Williams. The concluding volume is divided into two volumes. That's into the Narrowdark, and finally the Navigator's Children. I don't think I will be able to read the Navigator's Children in the month of December because it's such a busy month. Okay, it's such a busy month. So that will go to the month of January or even February in 2025 instead. And then the last two books that I will read in December, potentially, the next one is again The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This is the last standalone novel that I will read before the end of the year. And after I finish reading this novel, I think I will make an updated favorite standalone novel of all time list. It has been a while since I made that video anyway. And then finally, the last one, the last book that I might be reading in the month of December. And this is really up in the air right now. I want to say Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, but at the same time, I'm not sure jumping into this immediately right now is a wise decision, because this is the final book in the Stormlight Archive. Stormlight Archive Part 1. This is the final book. As I said, I'll be going to Dragonsteel Nexus. So that's already eat up like the first 10 days of December. So I don't think it would be possible for me to do a reread of something and then jump into Wind and Truth immediately. I don't even know whether I'll be able to read into the Narrowdark or not. So as I said, this TBR is just all like my plan, but there is a chance they're not happening. I might end up just reading 2 or at max 3 books in the month of December. But I don't know. I'm still not sure whether I will do a second read of Rhythm of War first, or maybe jump into Wind and Truth immediately. Right now, my mind and my heart is telling me that I should reread from the beginning, but that means I'll be reading Wind and Truth probably in May or June, and that's a long time. So right now in my mind, I'm just thinking that I should do a second read of Rhythm of War and then jump into Wind and Truth immediately. So maybe that's what I will do, and if that's the case, then I'll be reading Wind and Truth in January or in February, together with The Navigator's Children by Ted Williams. And yeah, that's really my plan for December. So that's really a wrap up on my November and also what I plan for the month of December. And as I said, let me know if you are going to Dragonsteel Nexus. Do say hi to me. I look forward to seeing you there. And yeah, let me know what you think about all the books that I mentioned in today's video, whether it's my wrap up or my TBR. Let me know what you think about them, and also do tell me what do you plan to read in the month of December. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.